Is your girlfriend busy getting laid while you're stuck at home playing video games?
Welcome to another very exciting episode of Rematch Radio here on TradioV.com/Denver. You have James Nelson here at the helm with Aaron Shea across from me. Fortunately or not, we'll wait.
Don't forget about me, man.
Oh, yes. Yes, we have Joel in the control room.
Hello.
With random blurbs of,
wow.
Well, you know, that stuff right there.
Raggy!
Things like that. So yeah, tonight we have a few things on the list for you. First thing, and probably most important thing, the Dead Space 3 demo came out this week. It's wonderful.
It's a lot of fun.
It is. This is the first co-op Dead Space installment. I don't believe it's going to be split screen co-op though, which is probably for the best.
It didn't look like it.
No.
When I went into that, because when you play the demo, you can see all the other options. They're just grayed out. You can't actually select them.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything for a split screen when I went to multiplayer.
And just from playing it, I don't think they're going to be able to do it graphically anyway. I don't know how they would do it.
I think it'd make me sick too.
Yeah, because you'd have to cut up the aspect ratios. I hate playing Borderlands split screen enough as it is, because when you hit pause, you look at your menu, and it's like cut in half.
Yeah,
you have to scroll to see it.
On the side.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's cool, fun, that's good.
That was a bad idea. You shouldn't even put that option in there to begin with.
Did they have vertical split screen in Borderlands, or is it just? Are you just stuck to horizontal? You don't know.
I don't know. No, because I never played the multiplayer.
Stupid. What?
I never played the split screen multiplayer. I've never done that.
Oh, okay. So you've never played multiplayer?
I didn't want to fuck with
out.
it because either way, it's going to split it somehow. I didn't give a shit how it split it.
Oh, well, it's bad. Anyway, back to Dead Space. So they've added a lot of elements to Dead Space with this new one, even just in the demo. Most important to me, I think, is the weapon customization. Finally, yeah. It's not just like, oh, power node, you know, like the little sound that they have for it. But it's not just power nodes like, oh, cool, my stats are up, cool. But it's a pipe. You can only do, like, once it's maxed out, there's no strategy to doing it.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but I mean, depending on the parts you find throughout the game, because you're picking up pieces all over the place, and depending on what you find will depend on how you can upgrade your weapon, because you spend these pieces and parts. He's dancing in there.
He's dancing. He likes the remix.
But you split up basically all the chunks of metal, everything you own, to up. You know,
chunks
you get
of metal.
Personalized. Exactly.
Semiconductor. Get to the chopper.
Yeah. All these things.
You get to split up your resources and upgrade your gun how you see fit. So
right.
if you want to strictly kind of go for damage, it doesn't just have a tree. You can upgrade those things, and each tier costs a different amount of pieces. So and it gets confusing too, because there's so much shit in the weapons.
Right. Well,
and then
now
you can construct your own too, not just upgrade.
Right, and that's the fun part. I think, I don't know, even in the demo, I saw seriously like 10 different gun pieces in just the demo.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see how many there's going to be. Like there's like a heavy stock, there's like a elite lightweight stock, all this shit, like a Tesla core, a military core, like all these different things that you can use to make a different weapon, different type of weapon, how it shoots, what it's for, if you want to scope on it, if you want it to be like a shotgun, if you want it to be like a minigun, whatever. It has, like, I made one when we were playing, it was like a rivet, it was like a chain gun.
Weapon
yeah, no, the melee, the
insane.
hammer, that thing was sweet. It's like a pneumatic hammer.
It just took everything down in one or two hits.
Hell yeah, it did. Yeah, like if you're not
afraid, ready to shoot, and you're just plowing these guys down.
Right?
Like, what the fuck? I want to play.
Which, like, that'd be sweet. The combinations are kind of cool now too, because if you have one player that has a weapon that focuses on stasis, which you can do, you can have a weapon that shoots stasis rounds that puts a small amount of stasis on the enemy. But what you could do even with that is have like someone just unloading on them, like stasising all the enemies in the area, and have one guy just run around with a hammer and just take them all out, man. Well, so that's one tactic.
Yeah, and the other thing I really like, so basically, for those who have played the first Dead Space games, the second one had they had alternate fires. So each gun had like some kind of special attack.
Right. Some were cool, some were kind of dumb.
Right. The plasma cutter basically just rotated.
Right.
I actually, for one of the achievements I had to get for Dead Space 1 was use nothing but the plasma cutter.
The whole game.
Couldn't even fire another gun at me.
But it's easy.
Ruined it.
With the plasma
It
cutter
is.
in the first game,
That's
if you
all-
upgrade
that's all I
that
use
thing,
anyway.
it's
Yeah.
easy. That gun is
So-
stupidly powerful.
But what I like about this is you're basically, instead of having to swap weapons, you basically have a top weapon and a bottom weapon.
Right. Like
on
a
that
top
one
deck and a
gun.
bottom deck for
yeah,
the same.
exactly. And so if you, like for me, I think the plasma cutter, for the first 2 Dead Space games, the plasma cutter and the force gun were my favorite.
See, not me. Like, I like the plasma cutter just because it's so general use. You can use it for anything. The Ripper in the first game, the Ripper was my favorite. The saw blade one that shoots out, the saw blade
I
attachment
hated
just
that.
slices them. I loved it because you could hold it out and just like slice away at enemies as you saw fit with limbs
Yeah.
or whatever. The second one, it wasn't as cool for some reason. They changed something.
Yeah,
Maybe dumbed
and
it down
I think that's
or
where I
something.
first used it. I never used it in the first one. I basically just stuck with the plasma cutter. But the force gun, when shit gets heavy, swap that shit out. But then again, you're changing your weapon. This, you have it all in one. You just,
Yeah. Which makes it
each have
easier.
their own
You can have
trigger.
2. I think you can only have 2 weapons now, as opposed to before you could have 4, I believe.
That's what it looks like, at least in the demo. That's what it displayed.
Yeah, it's only 2. You may be able to upgrade that, may not. But
it's essentially
even
4
so,
guns.
right? Yeah, it's 4.
Right.
So, but you can make more, keep them in your safe, do whatever, just like the first one and second one. I don't know. In the second one, I think I like the pulse rifle the best. Like the machine gun, the
Yeah,
pulse
'cause
rifle.
I think with that one you could slam on the ground.
No, that's the grenade
Which
launcher.
one was that? Well, there was one you could slam on the ground and it would put
That-
them all in stasis.
It wasn't the line gun, was it?
It was some kind of laser. You could like charge it, and I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the force gun.
No, because the force gun's that big round one that just.
Yeah.
Did you say the Forrest Gump?
Forrest Gump. The Forrest Gump?
The
I
Forrest
think it
Gump.
was the Forrest
That's what I
Gump.
heard. I thought you said Forrest Gump.
No.
You just shoot him out. It's like run, Forrest, and then all the
And
necromorphs.
he runs.
He's
No.
basically a distraction. All the necromorphs turn and
You
chase
got
him, and
shot.
you run and do your shit.
I mean, it's Tom Hanks. You cannot
You
not
got
be distracted. No, but the pulse rifle I think is my favorite in the second one just because it was rapid fire, but it had the grenade as a secondary, so it launches a grenade, which is the rest of your clip. So if you had a full clip and launched this thing, bam, it's like retarded damage. But if it's like a little
Yeah.
bit, it's not much.
So I think that adds a lot, and I'll be curious to see because you could upgrade them really fast too with all the materials you were finding in the demo.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did that. I'll be curious to see if they did that just so you could actually get some good hands-on.
Well,
or
I think they'll make it
there's-
more like I think it'll be the same amount. I don't think they would mess with that as far as programming goes. They wouldn't set a different value for just the demo. I don't think. I bet they're just going to make it more expensive as you continue to upgrade stuff. See what I'm saying?
Could be,
like
yeah.
because you have to buy more of these things, like more like military cores or Tesla cores or whatever it is you're using. I think they're
Yeah.
going to make it more expensive as you buy them. That's
Right.
my bet.
I could see that. Another thing that I really like a lot because in the other Dead Space games, you seem to always find the ammo you don't need.
Yeah, it's true. That's a big change in this one.
It's just this one set ammunition. That's it.
Yeah, that is
It's
an
one
interesting
piece,
change.
Yeah, it's one ammunition that works for every single gun.
It's kind of nice though.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's more simplified, but I think they kind of had to do it because of all the different gun variants. They wouldn't want to have like 50
Oh my
different kinds
God.
of damn ammo out there.
Well, then,
So
yeah.
they're-
Then it's like, oh, this gun I made, I can never find ammo for it.
It's a
sweet
gun, but I can't shoot it.
I got to kill 2 necromorphs with it, and then I can't do it anymore because I have no
Right.
ammunition.
So they did a good change with that. I think power nodes are gone.
I didn't see. Well, yeah, because the power nodes is what you use to upgrade your gun, so they wouldn't need that anymore.
Right. I did see something though. They had like some kind of special.
Because I know you went in and made your own guns. Did you actually
Yeah.
go into the guns and upgrade them? There's a different section for that.
Yeah. So the
So
upgrades.
that's it's not. It's no longer that tree. It's upper gun, lower gun, and then you select the slots, and you upgrade it however you want. You don't have to instead of
right, but
you
they
know-
still have the actual damage upgrades too for the entire gun.
Right, that's what I mean. Instead of, but that's the thing in the other Dead Space games with the trees. It's like, oh, to get to the next damage. What the fuck? To get to
Trees.
the next damage, I have to get reload speed. I have to do this. So you had to
Right.
work through the tree to get to all that shit.
Right.
Whereas in this one, if you want, just go all damage. If that's
Yeah.
what you want to focus on.
Right.
So I really like that customization. That I think it really, I think you're widening up the players that way, because it's like, look, you can make this game play the way your style is. You know, some people really suck at hitting what they're trying to aim at, so they may want to go for quick reload speed, or max ammunition, whatever. Increase the clip,
or have the attachment like for the Tesla one. They have a tip that you can use that is like a bola. So you hit one target, it jumps another, jumps another, jumps another. So it's like a chain gun, like a chain lightning gun that goes between everything. So for people who suck at aim, you just got to hit one.
Yeah.
And then you're good.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It caters to so many different styles of playing.
Yeah. So
it's like one of my buddies, I was watching him play, he's just fucking missing. It was Dead Space 2.
Oh, really?
I'm like, dude, there's no way you're going to beat this on hardcore. You get half the ammunition. It takes twice the ammunition to cut these things down. You can't fucking miss.
Right. Yeah, you got to be good at that rate.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I think my biggest disappointment with this one so far was actually the enemies. Like I feel like they lost a little bit of their scary factor, and not just because it's co-op. I think they just lost some of their that's not as scary anymore.
Well,
one thing, you're finding humans now too, but
look at where you are though.
I know.
I mean, it's like the middle of the day.
It's not in a dark area like everything in Dead Space 1 and 2.
Well, that's so the way this demo starts out, and it doesn't show you the cutscene before, but what happens is you're actually on a ship with Ellie, and the what was his name, Carver. You guys crash land, and you basically, the demo starts off with you waking up, hanging upside down. You have this frost in your beard. You know, you can tell it's freezing, and you drop down because you crash land on this frozen planet. And it happens to have all this, these the unitologists.
Yeah.
There's like a bunch of necromorphs. Like, what the fuck's going on? So I'm sure. I think that's actually. I want to say the demo. That's actually Act 2.
You think?
The game. I think so.
You think there's that much involved in the ship?
Yeah. Like,
really?
I think it starts off somewhere else. I think you might start off in space. I don't know, but I think that demo is Act 2. I remember.
Well, Chapter
I think
2.
it was during an E3 demo. They said we're going to play a demo from Act 2, and it was that, starting from when you crash land on that frozen planet. So they do. I mean, they're popping out of snow and stuff. Which part of it too. I mean, you become desensitized to them. You know what I mean? Like, I can go back and play 2, and yeah, it's creepy, but it was really scary the first time you play through it.
Yeah.
And with the multiplayer aspect, that does add a factor where it's not as intense.
Yeah, well, you feel like you can take on a lot more, but at that same turn, I feel like there's probably going to be a lot more in co-op. Like, once you get a player, you're going to have a lot more shit coming at you, like, all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas single player, it may not be as much, so that'll add some tension to it.
It's definitely, and I've seen it phrased this way in blogs and things like that. It's definitely more action oriented.
Yeah.
From the hands-on experience I got, I could see it having that creep factor still, though, because I played it one player first before I played online with you, and it did kind of have that creepy feel when you kind of got in some of the more darker areas. But I think part of it too, I mean, you know what to expect, and I think that's what they tried to do with this one is change it, because they know that Dead Space already went to the extent where it's creepy as hell. Now let's take it somewhere else, make it maybe more action-oriented, and delve into the story a little more. Because the first one, there was a lot of emptiness in the story. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
It was a whole bunch of, like, messed up shit, like, all these things were happening.
Even talk.
Right. Isaac didn't ever really talk. He just hear go, "Oh!"
Yeah.
If he died, So that was really about it. But yeah, I mean, the third game, I think it's cool as far as the story, how it changes with co-op and not too. Like, even that sequence where
that was totally
where you're falling, like where you're on this like platform, this part of a spaceship, you're trying to get through it, and it falls off this edge of this cliff, like this snowy cliff, and it's falling off, and you're trying to climb back up it, get up the cliff, all this shit.
As Isaac.
As Isaac you are too, but with the co-op guy there, he is too, but he's going on a different route. But not only that, I was Carver in our match, and I was like Carver, and I saw you trying to get out of this trailer thing, and I'm trying to, like, pull the door open on the other side.
I noticed it took longer for me to get through it too. So you got in my fucking way, bro.
Just try to help, bro. Frozen lock. What do you want to do? No.
But not just that, but you're also seeing you could tell, like, in that, you could tell there's some tension between the two characters.
Yeah, something.
In the Carver guy, because remember, we went into that room, to the power room to power up the elevator.
His response.
And our helmets come off, and he's like, "Look, I don't care what kind of fucked up shit you got in your head," and
it's
trying
like,
to
I don't
explain
give
to
a
him,
fuck.
like, I just want to get out of here. I'm not here for whatever agenda you have. So that adds a whole nother element to the game.
And I forgot what he said. It was hilarious though. Like Carver saying all the shit about like, oh, the unitologists are here, blah, 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 blah. And the guy's like, I don't give a fuck. Pretty much like.
Well, and we have a video we could show when we come back from break, but the
the
part
end.
after the saw, when they're sitting there talking, and man, I thought we were goners. Yeah, fuck this planet.
yeah, that's what he says.
But there is,
okay.
and that adds like, it makes the game funny. You got these two guys working together, and it does. It's like totally takes away the fear factor. I think it's definitely more intense, like hands on, because I swear there is more necromorphs.
With co-op
than the single player mode.
And maybe not, but I feel like there was too.
It felt like there was, yeah.
Like that part that I finally discovered my ridiculous hammer. I just was tearing through like all these enemies.
And then it seemed like there was a few more.
Yeah.
When we played that, but I think having the unitologists after you too, that totally adds another aspect. You get to see them ripped to fucking shreds too.
Right. All right, we're gonna take a break real quick here. We'll be back here in just a minute on Rematch Radio. Stick around.
Get a Zircon.
TradioV.
You could tell something about it.
Welcome back to Rematch Radio here on TradioV.com/Denver. We've got a video for you for the Dead Space 3. Some of the gameplay in that the scene we're talking about with the this drill cutting up an entire room and all these necromorphs coming.
Yes. Fuck.
Aaron's digging it. So we've got a video for you. We wanted to show you with the drill sequence. It's pretty intense. Is it co-op in the video?
Yeah, and that's what so I mean,
Talking over this entire video like I'm used to doing. Figured I would just show you guys the gameplay. If you care about my thoughts, I'll put those in the
fuck
description.
you ads.
I don't,
There's still
though.
not a whole lot of information, but
I don't care about your
this
thoughts.
is an E3 demo of Visceral Games playing Dead Space 3. So hope you guys enjoy.
But one player, you can imagine how intense it would be. There's a ton of necromorphs chasing after you during this.
No, it is intense. One player. It sucks.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But having 2 player, so the guy on the right with the red is Carver.
I would just play it on easy.
But then it's easier. So there's
And
this
just
drill.
Battles, yeah, and it is cool. I mean, Dead Space has always been kind of environment interactive as well, where not only are the necromorphs a threat, but your environment is as well.
What is this guy playing on?
It's at like an E3.
Oh, this is at E3. I'm like,
Yeah.
what in the hell?
So the screens on the right and left are the second player. The one in the middle is the first player. So and you can hear the 2 players interacting with one another too, which
Yeah.
again kind of takes some of the scare factor away. It's that whole thing when things are scary until you're not alone.
And that drill will flat out kill you if you get too close.
Yeah, if you one hit, you're just fucking shredded.
I wonder how those 2 guys feel playing a game up in front of a
Yeah.
crowd of
Oh,
a
man.
shitload of people.
I hope I don't get hit by the drill.
God, I'm gonna look like a retard.
He
if I-
almost did in the beginning there.
Yeah. There's Necromorph right there. All right.
So this is exactly what James and I did here. He basically took care of the necromorphs while I fucked up the drill.
We didn't talk about how that was gonna go down. That's just what happened.
Yeah.
But it worked out.
So, and I gotta say, so it has 3 phases. This second phase was pretty hard one player because there's so many necromorphs that fly in.
Oh god. And it's cutting the entire ceiling up as it's doing this. Did you notice that?
Yeah. This part's funny. The interaction they have here.
All systems shut down.
Jesus, I really thought that was it.
Yeah. Fuck this planet.
And actually, James, you're going to get to see a little further than the demo.
Really?
They actually go just a little bit deeper. But this is actually where the demo ends about.
Yeah, right. Just after this little
Yeah, you
firefight.
have all these unitologists flying out shooting at you. So then you get to see this as well.
Wait, you can roll?
Yeah,
Oh.
and you can crouch behind shit.
Oh, I know you can crouch, but how do you roll?
I think it's... Fuck, I don't know.
B?
I have to hold a controller to know. It's like that whole thing, oh, I don't know that person's phone number unless I hold the phone.
Yeah, but on a touchscreen, that's kind of irrelevant, isn't it?
It is. But it's more about the pattern. So right here... So this is what happens in the demo. You get pulled out, and then right as you start getting up,
Yeah, that's what.
that giant arm comes down, and right when that arm slams right there, that's when it cuts and just says
Yeah.
Dead Space 3.
But
So you
not
actually get to
here.
see- Well, and this is cool. And here's another thing. I mean, I watched this, and I'm wondering if the boss fight is the same when it's one player. Because obviously you got 2 people shooting at this fucker from the outside.
Those little shits. They're easy to kill, but they're annoying.
Yep. A new enemy, too. So here, you still have Carver sitting outside shooting, but then, unfortunately, Isaac gets sucked into this thing's mouth.
Oh, you're inside the mouth.
Yeah, this is... So,
Well, that's bad.
it's kind of cool, though. You see him go through the whole... It's like getting swallowed by an anus.
That's
That can't be good.
that's about the worst thing I could probably ever imagine happening.
But see, look how he has to fight it, though, when he comes out. So now he's floating in this liquid, and then exposed are those things.
Oh no, it's like the uvulas.
So I'm curious if the second player has to wait till you get spit up, or if he's able to fight it from the outside while you're inside.
These are things we must know. But I do think it's funny how
Google it.
a lot of these companies
Google that shit.
a lot of these companies these days are doing these demos. I think Reach was one of the first ones to really do a big beta test, Halo Reach. They released, it was only to select people, but they did this big old beta deal to test it out to see what fans thought about everything. Like there's this big, they had it go on for like 3 weeks. They had fans go on to Bungie.com and post, say, hey, you know, we like this, we like this, we like this. But that was the first one to really do it. Now I think a lot of companies are following suit with that kind of same idea. Not that it hadn't been done before, but that was the biggest extent that I've seen it done. And now Dead Space is doing it as well. So
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a cool way to test and see. Yeah, I mean, it's a live test to make sure the servers work just fine for it. Like, make sure everything actually works the way it's supposed to. So.
Well, I think it makes it more real too, in the sense that, you know, it was just like Dante, you know, or Devil May Cry. Like, I totally forgot about that game. I think by putting these demos out, it kind of keeps it fresh. Like, okay, this game is coming
Soon. Right,
Yeah,
if a demo's
soon.
out, it's usually within
This
about
one
3
actually,
weeks to a month.
I was going to say, this one, I mean, it's coming out the first week of February.
Right.
Which
This one's
is-
close.
Yeah, and they just, the demo's actually not even out yet. We got early
Early
access
access,
codes, 'cause
right.
some people who responded in time, they got early access to it
Yep.
through the Facebook page, only on 360 though.
Yep.
At PS3, there were no codes for that. So I think it comes out, I want to say it comes out this weekend. It's open to the public on...
Really? I thought it was tomorrow.
Maybe it is tomorrow.
That was tomorrow for everybody else.
I knew it was
Maybe.
after the show, though, because I was worried, well, shit, I want to get hands-on before
Yeah,
the show.
we did.
But it'll be on... The demo will come out for... It's out on PS3 and 360 once it's
Right.
open.
No, overall I thought the demo was good. It was fun. It was cool to see what they're doing now. I'll buy it. Like I have Dead Space 1 and 2. If you like Dead Space 2, I feel like you'll probably like 3. But I can think it kind of depends on what you liked the other two for. If you liked it for the scariness and for the jump factors, I think you'll still like this, but it's not as much of that anymore. Now
There's
it's
still
more
jumps, though. I mean, you'll
Yeah.
still get that, Jesus, fuck.
It's almost like they took Gears of War as far as the combat style, not quite the cover system, because the cover system in Gears of War I've always felt is actually really good.
Yeah, it is.
But it's like they took Gears of War and a little bit of Borderlands as far as like, not Borderlands necessarily, but any basic RPG where you have to collect materials, I guess. So they took those two elements and combined them and put them with the Dead Space story. So you lost a little bit of the scariness just because of the action, but overall I think it's pretty good. But another thing too, if you have Mass Effect 3, if you played it, you automatically get a free N7 suit.
Yeah, which pissed
for
me
me
off.
that's cool. I'm happy about that. That's cool.
But, and I'll have to say, I have Dead Space 3. I've had it for almost a year now, pre-ordered on PS3. I think I'll be switching it to 360.
Well, you should.
Well, partially
me.
because of that. Because I have Mass Effect. I have those on the 360, obviously.
Right.
But, the suit. But then the other thing is, I don't, my brother was going to be getting it. He was going to play it on PS3 as well.
Right.
I'm going to wait till it goes down in price. That could be fucking several
It's gonna
months.
be a while. There's probably no more Dead Space games in production right now.
I'll beat
So
Dead Space probably the second day I have the damn thing. So I'm going to play it one player first.
so you
And
can
then I want to
know
go
the
through,
differences.
right? And then I
Yeah.
want to go through multiplayer. I mean, maybe the week it comes out, the Tuesday it comes out, you and I could probably beat it
Yeah.
twice. A single
Twice.
player. I'll at least beat a
Twice.
single player. I'll at least beat a single player. Then
Well-
I'll go through with you that weekend. I'll beat it before the
Well,
weekend.
once on hard, or once on insane and one on hardcore. I mean, naturally, right? I mean,
Well, I'm going to try really
Probably
hard
not.
to not give a shit about the achievements this time.
I always
That-
do.
Well, part of it, I mean, with having a kid here, I'm not going to be able to dedicate as much time,
Yeah.
and it'll piss me off if I set that goal. I'll be like, God damn it, now I got to play it, because I don't know. I haven't looked at achievements yet. I don't think they posted them yet, but that whole thing for Dead Space 2.
You know they'll have the same one for
oh
3.
my God. Well, I don't know.
And probably for
because
co-op too.
Maybe. Well, But see, the thing with the first game is they did have the achievement to beat it on hardcore.
Right.
But you still got the saves. Nothing else changed. It was more difficult gameplay wise than
With
Dead
Insane.
Space 2 was on the insane mode. I died so many times with the first Dead Space game on hardcore. There's no way they could do that 3 save shit.
Right.
But basically, to get that achievement on Dead Space 2 on the hardest setting, it did make it a little harder, but it took away the comfort of checkpoints, and you only had 3 saves to spend on the entire game.
Well, yeah,
That was kind of a new concept.
Backtrack a little bit for those people who do not know what this achievement is that we're talking about here. On Dead Space 2, to get this achievement, you had to play the game on hardcore mode, which if you die, you revert back to your save, right?
You revert back to your last. You go back to your last save. There's no checkpoints.
Right, there's no checkpoints, but you can only save 3 times throughout this entire game.
Yep, and it's about 8 to 9 hours to beat it.
Right.
You have half the ammunition,
And it's much more difficult
and you can
as
be
well.
You could be. There's some creatures that can kill you in one hit.
Right.
And the first, I think, 4 times I played it, I got about 3 hours in each time, and something stupid killed me. And it sucks because you're sitting there playing. You put 3 hours into the game. It's like fuck.
There goes 3 hours of my life.
Once I got to that
gone.
first save, about 4 hours in, I actually felt really good. I'm like, okay, this is good. Now I don't have to watch that fucking 7 goddamn minute intro every time when I go back. So once I did that, I think it was pretty much downhill. And people call me crazy for this. I didn't only get this achievement, platinum the game, but I fucking did it a second time.
Why?
Because my brother wanted the achievement. I'm like, fuck,
Oh
I'll do
my
it again.
God.
Because I love playing the
You
game.
did it for your brother?
I did it for my brother.
Get him to do it. Get your own damn
He
achievement.
sucks at it.
Oh, well.
But I did it just because, I wanted to do it. And it's funny because... so I
Joel made us
awesome
a sign for those who can't.
That's awesome.
Can't see.
But it was funny because I played, I think, 3 hours and died. I'm like, fuck. And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to start over. I'm going to get to that first save at least. And I just kept going. So the second time I started playing it through his game, I just basically went from start to finish without dying. If I can beat the whole game that night.
That's ridiculous.
And it was hard. You got to be really careful because remember the windows you can shoot out?
Oh, yeah. The
You get
decompression
sucked
windows?
right the fuck out.
How much Mountain Dew did you consume?
Lots.
Actually, I don't think I shit, pissed, or drank anything for that 8 hours.
Man.
I think I
You
just
probably smelled bad, though.
I was sweating fucking hardcore.
And then that's
not
saying
only,
something.
Not only
'cause
do
this
I
guy
have a
sweats.
sweating condition, but he always keeps his place. It was probably like 80 fucking degrees in his
Oh,
place
God.
and no fans.
So with every game you play, what do you lose?
What do
That's
you
what I
mean?
want to know because you spend these hours playing these games, right? You got to lose something.
Life.
Besides
Life.
You lose
Let's
like
see.
a real life.
I think sometimes
I gained the achievement here.
Sometimes
I
I
lost the
lose.
achievement.
Sometimes I lose friends. It's like, dude, want to come out tonight? Oh, dude, I'm not feeling well. And then they're like, dude, what's with all those fucking achievements I saw on your Facebook page? Fuck, I forgot I had linked to that.
Oh. Yeah.
That's rough. I'm not feeling well, but my game does not suffer.
I'll have the flu and I'll still play.
Oh yeah, because you don't have to go anywhere.
Right.
Exactly.
How many controllers have you been through?
I only put a knife through one. I literally got so pissed off. I threw it and broke it, and a button was stuck. So I opened it up, I unscrewed it and everything, and when I was putting it back together, like I broke a piece in half, and I just like got pissed and just drove a knife through the
Nice.
through the top of the controller, through the chipboard, then out the bottom.
God.
And then
Well
I'm like, I
done,
think it's
sir.
broken.
He actually
I think I killed it.
he actually murdered it. Like
All right.
he was a doctor.
I'm
And
like,
he went in to
Stabbed it
fix
through
it.
the chest.
He went in to fix it. Didn't do what he wanted to, so he murdered it.
Exactly.
That's messed up. You're sick.
These things happen in the medical field.
I can't do it.
Shit, this is a lawsuit.
Oh, he's dead now. He's dead. Anyway,
Sue me for dead.
no, I think what they're doing with Dead Space 3, just to kind of wrap this up a little bit with Dead Space, what they're doing is kind of interesting with all the weapon customizations. I see that being a lot of replayability factor for a lot of people because they're going to come out with content that allows you to get new types of like gun things, like the frames or the cores or the tips or the attachments or whatever. They're going to have all that stuff, so I think that's going to really allow people to come back and play, but they're going to make more money off of it. But, of course, what other company, not to give them too much shit, but just enough, what other company would come out with things like this every time? Electronic Arts. They did it with Mass Effect. They do it with every
EA's
game
good
now.
at it.
They are. They're really good at getting money out of their customers, more than just
But
the 60.
Not only
They're
that,
really
but
good at it.
I think that, but it's not just them milking you for money. I think a lot of it is. I mean, you do get a totally different experience.
Oh no, for sure.
Honestly, I think the Dead Space series is my most. Those 2 games alone are probably my most played games. I played 1 at least, I don't know, 6 or 7 times, and 2 just as many or more.
Yeah.
And I actually just re-downloaded them on Steam because I'm going to play through them again. Like they're just,
I played
they're
1
fun.
a lot more than I played 2 for whatever reason. It just felt more scary.
It was. 1 was scarier. 2 still had the creep factor, but I think given the character more personality and kind of developing a story around him, it does kind of take away some of the creep factor. I think having the unknown, like, who the fuck is this guy? And actually the Dark Souls, Demon Souls and Dark Souls, they're not too creepy as far as the creatures that are in the game, but it has this whole eeriness to it because your character is a nobody. Similar type of thing, they don't talk, and they're just some
it's kind of like Isaac,
average fucking dude just floating around, just in the wrong place at the wrong time. I better fight some shit.
Well, if I don't fight, they're gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Kinda
Well,
thing.
and that, and your character is completely flawed. The guy is fucking twisted in the head. I like that aspect of it too.
I can't play those games because I don't like that shit. I don't like just playing a game that oh my god.
Well, you like Dead Space.
You die, you got to restart the whole game. No, we're gonna take a break real quick. We'll be right back here on Rematch Radio. Stick around. We'll be back. Now, welcome back to Rematch Radio here on TradioV.com/Denver. I have a quick comment to make about this song. Me and Guido, guitarist for my band, Bodies We Buried, we tried learning this song. No shit. We learned this song yesterday in one shot. Like, as it was playing, I'm just throwing this out there to give POD some shit. We learned that song in one playthrough. As it was playing, We learned the entire song. Anyway, that's my rant.
It's not rocket fucking science.
It's
No,
just
it's not. That's my
chords,
point.
dude.
I know. It drove me nuts. We learned, dude.
Fingering.
This is totally off subject. We learned like a POD song. We learned like all these like just terrible radio songs. We didn't do Nickelback. I can't bring myself to do it. Anyway, we learned like 5 or 6 of these just terrible songs just to do it. Five Finger Death Punch was one of them. Yep, did that. Oh wait, no, I got it. I got this. Okay, so this, that. This is a shirt that we are going to be giving away over the week.
Extra large.
Extra large, so it's for the true gamer out there, the one that never leaves their
It's
couch.
a Tom Clancy Ghost Recon game.
Right. It's a freebie. We're gonna have a trivia during the week sometime, and we'll get you details on how to collect your reward for answering this very difficult question we're gonna throw out.
I would have taken that shirt, but it looked like a dress on me.
probably.
I'm like
It
4
looked like a
foot
dress
2.
on most people, man.
I'm like 4'2".
Just
Wouldn't make any
cut
sense.
it and then resew it on the bottom.
Right? Yeah, because that's my job. I'm a seamster.
Seamster.
I'm a seamstress.
How much I got paid to be a seamstress? Okay, so yes, we'll be giving this out over the week. Ghost Recon shirt for free, never worn, obviously still in the box, or we'll just really get shrink wrap.
I actually,
It's got our sweat.
I
all
wore
of
it
us.
about 7 times. Never washed it, and I think I accidentally when I was wiping my ass one time, I accidentally got some of my shirt.
But we
with
shrink
toilet
wrapped
paper.
it, so that's detergent.
It
Seems
looks
legit.
legit, and that's all that matters.
Seems
Right,
legit.
right.
So we'll have some shit to give away here.
Yes,
and there, so.
over this week. So we'll announce that winner here next week.
Yes,
We do have some other prizes too, so maybe we should start giving that shit away.
Yeah.
How are
We
you
got-
gonna
we got
how are you
some
gonna
stuff.
give it away?
Well, we're gonna tell them how to do that, but we're gonna tell them to get a hold of you.
That's
they have to
right.
come down here to
What's
the
your
studio.
shit again?
Okay, you have to contact Joel at TradioV.com.
Yes,
Joel, Joel, at TradioV.com.
and we will get them your information
And we'll
Right.
we'll post
To-
that information too.
because people,
Yeah.
we can tell them here.
Yes.
But, you
Put
know.
it on the
can.
page.
we'll put it.
Yes,
on the
no,
page.
yeah, it'll be on Facebook.
So we'll come
um,
up with some trivia to throw out, and the first person that gets it right gets the shoit.
Yeah.
we do have other prizes as well. I still
We do.
have the.
I do have a Burning Crusade standee and a Wrath of the Lich King standee, and also a Final Fantasy
worth money.
12 standee.
Those are worth money, man.
Yeah. So if people
What about
wanna-
your sword?
I no.
You have
that,
a sword.
That was a wedding
The
gift.
f- the- was
And
it
was
the,
500
the
bucks.
Frost-
It's the Frostmourne.
you got
Frostmourne,
a
right.
sword as a wedding gift.
Yeah.
It's a World of Warcraft replica sword,
I'll
like a
I'll take
real
a picture
deal.
and bring it in. I'll send it to you.
Why don't you just bring it in?
It's pretty badass, man.
Because it's fucking heavy as hell.
It's a real, it's a real fucking sword.
It's a replica of the sword that the Lich King uses in the game.
Yeah.
Does it have the
It's
riddle of steel on it?
gigantic. And he just like picks it up with one hand, and I'm like,
Fuck.
just trying to kill someone with that. And they're like behind you.
Are you
but
still
I-
there? Did I get you? Shit. I'm kind of blacking out. That was heavy.
Damn.
So
It's a good workout.
So yeah, I've also got a prize for the
Keyboard?
what?
The spiders.
No.
I'm looking at your hands. You're like,
no. It's the remote control car for Twisted Metal, the ice cream truck.
oh.
I've got a remote control car that works. It's even got batteries that came with it. So it's that'll be a prize later. Anyway, we do have a few more things to talk about. We're kind of done with Dead Space.
Yeah.
Done with you for now. You come out in what? It comes out February
The 5th?
5th. Yeah, I believe it is the first week in February. So not this coming week, but the following. So we'll have that for you.
It's-
Our review of that once it comes out, just to
2 weeks
kind of
from
follow
tomorrow.
up. 2 weeks from
tomorrow,
tomorrow
yep.
it comes out. So we'll have the review in about 3 weeks.
I will make it my goal to beat single player before the weekend, and if you and I can work.
Oh
through
yeah, I'll have it beat before
multiplayer by
then.
the 12th.
Because I bet it's not that long. I bet it's like 12 chapters, just like the other two.
It'll be an 8-hour game, just like the other ones, I'm sure.
Yeah, the co-op, I'm sure it'll be the same length,
Right.
obviously. So, okay. So we do have a couple more things. A few weeks ago, I had talked about Valve coming out with a console. They're entering the console realm just like Microsoft did back in 2001 with the Xbox original. Valve is doing the same thing now, but more for PC gamers, but allowing it so you can hook your PC up to your TV, but not have to have a badass PC to play all these games at max settings and have it look really good on your TV. So they're coming out with that actually very soon here, I believe. They released it. I remember seeing something about it being third quarter of this year. So it's coming right along suit with Sony and Microsoft for their new consoles coming out later this year as well. That's rumored anyway. But the new Valve creation is called the Steam Piston. So I don't know. It's kind of cool for those of you who use Steam for PC games. Obviously, you'll get the Steam, the phrase, but the Steam Piston is what the thing's called. I don't know the specs on it. They finally released the name of this thing, but it's kind of cool. I mean, you can take Aaron seems to think it'll flop. I think it'll do pretty well for the PC gamer that wants to play all these badass looking games on their TV, and it doesn't look shitty.
But you can.
in the transfer.
I can hook up my PC now to the TV.
But it'll look like crap.
Why would it look like crap?
Because the transfer doesn't work the same. Even if you use like a DVI, like the DVI outputs, most TVs these days don't even have DVI inputs anyway. They have HDMI, which, of course, even if you have DVI video cards, you can get a DVI to HDMI adapter. Great, grand.
Well, I have just a standard HDMI
right.
out. But
But even so, it'll lose res because it's a different type of translation from the video card on your computer to the TV. It interprets it differently. But even so, even if it were to interpret it right, you would still have a resolution loss because it's still at 1080, right? But like, say your video card's not up to par to play that game at its maximum settings to make it look as good as it possibly can. Which, for all those people out there who do not know, who don't play PC games, console games and PS3 games, they look great. They look grand. Take those same games and play them on a PC that can play them on max settings.
Better.
It will look so much better and play better
crisper,
too.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no lag. Granted, you have to have a computer that can do these things, but that's what Valve did, is made this thing so that you don't have to worry about that anymore. You have to pay the hundreds and thousands of dollars to upgrade a computer to be able to do that stuff. So that was their thought, to do that.
And I could see it do for what they're putting into it, though, I guess that's the question. And will it stay updated to current games?
Well, right, and Xbox and PS3, well, Microsoft and Sony did that pretty well. I feel like with their consoles, they had to have this technology that they knew would last for the next 5 years at least. That would last through all the technological upgrades and all that, which is why they were so expensive from the get-go. I can almost guarantee you, Microsoft and Xbox Microsoft and Sony for the first few years of that being out, they didn't make shit. Same with Wii. In fact, I know for a fact Sony was losing money on their PS3s for a while there.
Yeah.
But they were making it back on the games, so that's how they got it back. But they were losing out for a while because the hardware was so expensive in these things, but they couldn't sell it for any more because otherwise Microsoft would just swallow them. So
do they have a price idea?
No,
price range
not
on
that
it
I've
yet?
seen. And again, I don't know if this is a link that interacts with your computer or if it's a standalone console that just plays PC games as they were intended to be played on a PC. It may be a standalone console. You don't even need your computer at all. It's got an OS on it, similar to Microsoft and Sony with their consoles have their own OSs, even though Microsoft's is pretty similar to their regular OS, like the Windows platform. So, but it may be a standalone OS with a console that connects to nothing. You just put the PC game in there, it installs on a hard drive built onto it. It plays like an awesome PC would. So maybe something like that. I don't have any more details yet.
If you're planning on getting it, I say what we should do is test my PC on the television versus this machine, and maybe we can rate it at that point.
Right.
But it sounds like a pretty cool idea. But my thought is the PC gamers, that most of them are keeping updated on their shit.
Well, for sure. The hardcore ones are always going to have the top-of-the-line graphics cards, top-of-the-line processors, RAM, everything. RAID controllers, fucking solid state. They're going to have everything they need. But for those of us who have a PC for work,
right,
or for general use or whatever, and you don't want to spend all that money, I couldn't imagine this thing being more than $500. I couldn't see that.
It'd be even 500 would be a lot.
Yeah, it's got to be a powerhouse for $500. Like,
yeah,
that thing's got to be ridiculous.
And you're going to want it to replace the modern day systems,
right?
Like, okay, I'm going to get this and not these other systems that are coming out.
Right. I think Valve can do really well with it. I think they just have to market it. Also, I think they have to also market it really well because again, they're competing with Microsoft and Sony when they've announced that they're coming out with their new consoles later this year as well.
Right.
In March, even, they're having their big conference to talk about that. I talked about that last week. So they're coming, but they have to compete with them too. Nintendo's done their shit for the next few years probably with the Wii U. And then Xbox, whatever it's going to be called, Infinity is what I've been rumored. And then Sony's new one, probably the PS4, probably.
Yeah,
I don't know why they'd call it something else.
Pattern.
Yeah. it's the stop station.
PlayStation 0.
PlayStation stop station. Like, what are they going to call it? I don't know. But workstation. Anyway, so they have a lot to compete with that. But again, people are going to be seeing all these ads about Microsoft and Sony with their new product coming out, so they could just jump along and say, hey, guess what? We've got something too. So
exactly.
Maybe. It may fall into a small niche that it works out, but you're right, it may flop because Microsoft and Sony will step on it. So
yeah, well, that, and like I said, I think for PC gamers, they probably have their gear and they're like, I don't want to just buy a system that, I want to buy something I can just keep upgrading on my own.
Right.
I want to set it to the specs I want to set it to.
Right.
Because that is the thing with the console. You do lose a lot of flexibility to build it the way you want it.
Right, and a lot of people don't understand that. They think that consoles are superior, and they are not.
Yeah,
PCs are far superior. So
right. Games are just catered to
work on that.
The consoles, because that's what sells.
They're dumbed down for the console, but if you take that exact same game, put it on a PC, it will look immensely better.
Exactly.
So that's all we have for this week. Like I said, we will have trivia over the week. We'll give you a whole week to respond to it and all this. For this first prize of the few that we have here. We'll build more, of course. But, yeah, answer that trivia question. We'll get a hold of you guys over the week for it. We will see you guys next week here on TradioV.com/Denver. Thank you for listening to Rematch Radio.